The top 3 reasons why Elizabeth Holmes, CEO of Theranos, should go to prison. That's next. Welcome back to the Summit Castle channel. Derek Van Schaik here. Elizabeth Holmes was the Stanford University dropout who founded and CEO'd Theranos. And yes, she wore black every day. Theranos was promoted by Elizabeth Holmes as a game-changing blood testing company. Instead of drawing the typical vials and vials and vials of blood from your arm, she claimed that her blood testing company could do hundreds of blood tests from just a prick of your finger.
And we've made it possible to eliminate the tubes and tubes of blood that traditionally have to be drawn from an arm and replaced it with the nanotainer.
That all sounds too good to be true, right? That was the problem. It wasn't true. Her blood testing technology did not work. However, she told everyone that it did work. She even went as far as to lie to everyone on national television to defend her company's blood testing technology when accusations arose about her company's severe blood testing inaccuracies. Her company was worth $9 billion. However, now she's facing legal action and her company is getting liquidated. Now, here are my top 3 reasons why Elizabeth Holmes should go to prison. In countdown form, number 3, lying and stealing from investors. To build something very large, very quickly, outside investors are almost always required. Elizabeth sought these investors to help grow her company very quickly. But how did she get these investors if her technology didn't work? Well, she did what con artists do and just lied about her company's capabilities. The Theranos scam sent ripples through the entire Silicon Valley investment community. Because things move so quickly in Silicon Valley, there typically isn't enough time to do all the confirmation due diligence. Therefore, there was a certain level of trust that everyone had for each other in the Valley to get good technology funded quickly. Stealing hundreds of millions of dollars from investors is only part of what she stole. Elizabeth Holmes also stole the sacred culture of trust in Silicon Valley. Now it's more difficult for good, up-and-coming startups to get funding quickly, or at all, because everyone remembers Theranos. In countdown number 2, lying to the public at the expense of the public for her own personal gain. Elizabeth's bold-faced lies angers many people, including me. This is one of those things that's just sickening. Every time she was eventually confronted and pressed by the media that her blood tests were possibly inaccurate, she defended them completely, even making up stories, blaming the established blood testing companies for the negative press against her.
Now, we're under real attack from the lab industry, who, is seeding all sorts of bad stuff about us into the press or false statements about us.
Even though she was a Silicon Valley company, she was not selling typical consumer technology, such as a smartphone. If it was a smartphone's technology she lied about, yeah, maybe some apps wouldn't download for the user as expected. However, her lies resulted in the endangering of innocent human health and lives. This leads us to the biggest reason why Elizabeth Holmes should go to prison. Number 1, endangering hundreds of thousands of lives. Lying to customers about a product or service will likely involve some penalties. But when lies could easily endanger your customer's health and their life, that's when things are at a whole new level. Blood tests must be extremely accurate because a false negative could easily be just as bad as a false positive. Taking medication and getting procedures done that you don't need is sometimes just as dangerous as not getting medication and not getting procedures done that you do need. This is the scary part. She knew the seriousness of blood tests. And yet she was putting hundreds of thousands of people's health and lives at risk. She put her own personal gain ahead of everyone else, whether that was for her own personal fame, power, or fortune. It was in her near-term interest to keep the lie going. So she did. It apparently didn't matter to her that people could have been misdiagnosed and on the path towards death right as she was speaking the lies to defend her blood testing technology. I think I can speak for a lot of people that she makes her skin crawl and her blood boil. Clearly, this is not a legal argument of the exact statute she violated and the exact evidence in the case against her. That's for the courts to decide. This is purely my business perspective of why Elizabeth Holmes should go to prison. Or put another way, why orange will be her new black. Now in the comments, should Elizabeth Holmes go to prison? Are there any reasons I missed that you would like to add? Put that in the comments below. Remember to hit that subscribe button so new insightful videos on success in business come right to you. And we'll see you at the top.